Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 9th and final episode of SD Best Friends. I am Brianne, also known as Miss Movies, and SD stands for something. It could be social distancing, could be schmodown, could be, I like to say standard definition and standard deviation. Those are my two favorites. I know Super Dope's a good one, San Diego, South Dakota, lots of SDs, Sugar Daddy, I don't know. Anyways, you can put them in the chat and let us know which ones you like. But on each show, we talk about the Schmodown, and it's all people from the Schmodown. So let's welcome them now. First up, he used to be, I don't know what he used to be. He used to be from Chicago, but now he's West Coast Frank.
That's right.
Hey, what was your name before?
I think just Frank.
Just Frank?
Yeah, just Frank. It was Chi-Town Frank? No, we never did that one. No, we just did, Frank. That's it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, West Coast Frank is pretty good. Yeah.
Also joining us, you love her, and you listen to her on Mondays because she has Machine Mondays, and that is Jeannine the Machine.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on this show yet again.
Of course.
We're excited that you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, he is now ready. He wasn't ready before, but he is now, and that is Robert the Spider Parker.
Hello. I had just enough time to get halfway done. Didn't have enough time to go full blue, but this is close enough.
What's great is he was wearing like a Marvel shirt right before we went
on.
live.
It's still on under here.
There it is. Okay, there we go. You're Supermaning it.
Peter Parker / Superman.
Oh, I should have put on my. I have an actual like Spider-Man like.
No, it's ruined now.
Okay, we're gonna remove you from the stream. No, I'm kidding. And also joining us. Oh, lots of IG in the house this evening. One of your IG favorites, corruption favorite, and that is Mike Kalinowski. Hello, Mike.
Buddy, look at this group. Look at this group we got here tonight. My, oh, my.
It's a great group. I like how diverse we are this evening.
Very diverse group.
Rounding out the panel of tonight's The View, we have the one and only, the burning Droog himself, Brendan Hanna. Pew, pew, pew.
Wow.
What kind of pizza is that?
That's eggplant pizza.
Eggplant.
Oh, wow, he's taking this trade real well.
See, I wanted to get a large because there's something to say about the ratio of dough to cheese to sauce and all of it when you get a large pizza compared to a small. It hits different, but neither of my roommates eat meat.
Okay.
So I figured I like eggplant. Alex likes eggplant.
This is your time, though, Brandon. This is your time to get a meat lover's pizza and be like, screw you guys.
All for me.
Just let it sit in the fridge for a whole week. Just taunting them.
The perfect time to troll your roommates.
I don't think it would last.
They are in the den.
You don't want to share anything with them.
Before we get started, let's do a few super chats that have already come in. Movie Fanobi says, Brianne, a bittersweet end. I have a lot of respect for you. Proud of you. These streams are great. Closing with the lovely Jeannine and others was a great choice. I'll miss these. See you around the Schmodown. Jeannine, sing. He always wants you to sing. PLB says, bittersweet end, and I can't even watch live tonight, but a good crew to end the era. And thank you for letting us sit at your table for a little while. Movie Fanobi also says PLD can't watch. I present Sir Lord Ed Harris. I almost said Ed Helms.
Him too.
I mean, all the Eds. How about all the Eds? And another one. Let's see. Camshaft is a star, as is Brianne. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
These comments were like as if the McRib was going away. The Shamrock is like going by, you know? This is the end.
This is it, guys.
But those come back. Those come back.
Well, you never know, huh?
As the show might come back, right?
You never know.
It's just on hiatus. It's just on hiatus. Because if you say that,
a break.
You say hiatus if you come back randomly, like people can't give you shit for like retiring. If you just I'm on hiatus, and you come back with no repercussions.
That's right. That's right. Never retire. Just say, yeah, you know what? I'm on a break. Eric Lane says Frank's nickname should be Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Tagline, relax. Parker should change his nickname to the Illusionist. Thanks, Brienne. Gonna miss this.
I do want to get a Frankie Says Relax shirt. I think
that'd be a good one.
I do.
And you do say that a lot.
That would be good.
So that's good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. First of all, there was a match that dropped, and again, I like to keep the banner up here so that way anyone that did not see the match does not get spoiled. They can come back when this is done. But let's go over the team match this week of Real Rejects versus the Den. I thought this was actually a lot of fun, but I was at the desk for it, so it's a little bit different when you're watching than when you're in it, I will say. But what I want to know, just like your basic thoughts. Did you enjoy this match? Yeah, basic thoughts. Whoever would like to start. Frank, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah. It was a lot of fun to watch. Real Rejects is always a treat to see play a match. It was going to be interesting to see how Ben and Rachel play after their first, their debut match, because you never know if it's a fluke or what have you. So I thought we can get into how they played, because there's some interesting things that happened.
A little rough on both sides of the table.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That's putting it lightly.
This was like stumbling over the win, right? It's like, well, okay, we did it. We won. Wasn't pretty, but we got there. We got the job done.
Yes.
Jeannine?
It was a fun match. Real Rejects is always fun to see. It was a bit of a shaky round one. And something that has kind of bugged me pretty much all season is people not following the rule that is stated at the beginning of every round one.
It's so hard.
Okay. And show your answer. And everybody's gotten a pass on this all season so far. I will challenge it, and you will lose a point. So
Jeannine is the Strickland of the showdown.
Yes.
A lot of rules are wishy-washy. A lot of rules are like, oh, it could go this way or that way. It's subjective. But this is actually a rule that is stated before the match.
So what Jeannine's talking about is in round one, the answer is Guillermo del Toro, and I believe John Humphrey says his answer first, Guillermo del Toro, and then it goes to Ben, and he said what he said and shows that he has written Guillermo del Toro, and then it goes to the rest of the field. And so she's saying, yeah, you need to say the answer. Now this one, which is interesting, so this was recorded before Jader versus Brittany, and in the Jader versus Brittany match, I said to Jader, you need to say your answer, but we didn't take a point away from him. But right. I did say that to him. So at least I picked up on that for the next one. How do you feel about when things like that happen, Mike? You're like, if I were an IG and this would happen, there's no way anyone's getting away with that.
God, come on now. How long have we been doing this damn thing? Like, and isn't it like Vejvoda, he's going into IG now, right? In that bracket, right? And people are like, you scared about him? I was like, that guy's been playing it for 3 years. He still doesn't know the rules. No, I'm not worried about him. So come on, man. Like, I'm trying to think. This was the match. We did this before quarantine, right? This was way back in the studio, because I was there for this, because we had talked you're like, did you see this match, Mike? And I was like, I didn't see it. It's like, no, wait, I was there.
You had taped Corruption.
Yeah, I was there that day.
The Family the same day.
Yeah,
it was a live match that day.
Yeah, so oh boy, this was a debacle match. Holy crap! Back and forth in the studio. Holy Jesus! Yeah, now I do remember it. But I'm like, come on, this thing has been going on for so long. You're not a rookie. Get the damn thing right. Like, come on now, man.
I mean, this is his third total match so far, but yeah.
But I get it. I get it. At the heat of the moment, you're not thinking straight. I get it. We've all been there. We've all made mistakes.
It's all up to the desk, though. Like, see, I didn't.
It's the desk's thing.
If the desk doesn't call it, that's
an interesting thing. We're at that point now where it's like, people talk about people calling stuff from the audience, and that that doesn't count. It doesn't count if an audience member were to call something and say something out. I mean,
a manager could definitely challenge, and that's what managers should also be looking for as well, because then it could be like Coy saying, "Hey, he didn't say the answer. I challenge that he gets a point for that."
Right.
And now
Yeah.
with the factions, we're not even allowed to, like, if we see something from another faction that went
Right.
wrong, and, we're not involved, we can't collude.
Right. It's just
You need to tell your person.
Unless you don't get caught colluding.
I saw someone make a comment about what if Mark Andreyko had just said what he said for the Idris Elba thing. We never had that whole debacle.
Yeah,
just going with it.
Keep going with
it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
It is a whole different story. Parker, you gonna weigh in on this?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's interesting when people like try to be all like quippy and funny and like it doesn't get attention called to when like it's in character, when the joke is funny or something like that. But like when it doesn't really like hit right, then we sort of like realize that hey, they didn't actually say the answer.
Yeah.
But Fast and Loose, it is what it is. I think that's I think people should be held to maybe a higher standard.
It's tough.
It's not a hard one.
Like you say about
this rule, like follow the rule. But when it's like something that's not really stated, or it's like one of those wishy-washy, like people have to weigh in on it, then that's fine. I get it. But when it's something
if you
literally said
before the match and let your character happen through the match, and you get something wrong, or you're trying to that's on you then. And there's a lot of us. It's like I'll mess with you between rounds and stuff, but during the rounds, I don't mess with that kind of crap, because it's like you got to be focused. You shouldn't be worrying on what's going to be the cool heel thing to say to someone's response or something. But that's teach their own.
Yeah. I do think probably also needs to be, and I know Christian has talked about this before, like there needs to be a third person who's not at the desk, who also enforces the rules, to be like, he didn't say the answer, he does not get the point for this, and tells the desk that, because honestly, like when you see any other sports, the commentators are not the referees.
Yeah.
So like you do need an additional referee, and there's a reason why they're not, and that's because they have another job, and that job is to run things, like right? They're
so going and flowing and all that whole thing. Yeah.
So like I mean the same thing with like Alex Trebek. He's not the judge. He reads out the questions.
Yeah.
And like someone else decides if they're going to get the point and then give them the money or whatever, on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be another person that can.
You're not talking about Alex Trebek like handing cash to people in back alley. Specifically on Jeopardy.
Oh man. But anyways, I was like, the good thing about this match, I don't think there were any challenges during this match, which is kind of nice. Not having to deal with that.
There was one that like we're talking about like round one, like kind of miss answers. There was one that I thought was interesting, which was there was a Muppet Treasure Island question.
Oh, and that one
that movie is called Muppet Treasure Island. Not the Muppets Treasure Island, not Muppets Treasure. It's Muppet and I know those are like little ticky tacky things, but that's where we're at right now. That's where the division is at.
Yeah.
You're right. It's tough. It's tough because then it's like, well, is there another movie called The Muppets Treasure Island?
Yeah.
And then if there is, then there's a problem.
Area comes in.
So I get it.
It's
exhausting.
Speaking of answers, there was some interesting answers or non-answers given in this match that just completely threw me for a loop.
I think I know.
There's two. The first one, Chutes and Ladders.
That's probably my favorite answer.
What was the question again? What was the question?
The movie based on a board game stars Liam Neeson and Taylor Kitsch.
Oh yes, Chutes and Ladders.
What would that movie be about?
I think it's about firemen. Okay,
I need somebody to pitch that movie right now.
It would just be an extended
set of ladders.
bit. It would just be an extended
like
bit of that
drama
scene in Ted 2 where Liam Neeson buys the tricks.
Yes,
it'd be an extended bit from that movie.
Oh my gosh!
It's like I hear Chutes and Ladders.
Well, if you don't know the answer, if you're not gonna get the answer, you're not gonna get it right. Go big,
Yeah,
true. But at that point, you don't even have to reveal the answer because you know it's just wrong. So it's like save yourself.
It's much easier to just say I didn't have it and erase the board.
Because we all know.
There's been many of those where I'm like, I ain't gonna say this answer, but I wrote down here. I can't say this. This is awful.
Did you reveal that you had the Amazing Spider-Man 3 as an answer?
Oh yeah,
it doesn't even exist. It's like
stuff like that. I would just be like, didn't get it.
Yeah.
Didn't get it.
I thought it was the third Amazing Spider-Man movie.
I was like, what? The third one?
Wait.
I was like, that's not even a movie.
There must be something we don't know.
Yeah,
but at least
be in
at least you
development.
wrote something down, I guess, is the point.
Yeah,
but,
there's that.
Still, very funny. Very funny.
Were those the only two that you were like, what?
Yeah.
Or picking
That
John
was the-
Landis twice for director? I don't know about that.
Oh,
Someone was like,
everything in
round
the
two?
80s. He directed everything in the 80s.
he did a lot of stuff. So I mean, it's not a bad guess.
No.
true.
Well, there's that. He did direct Clue. Shannon, if she wants to join the stream, she's welcome.
She's
to.
having some pizza and wine right now.
Let me get to the super chat real quick. AJ Lancaster says, a question for bending rules for character. If Kevin Smith wanted to play a full game as Silent Bob in character, would rules be relaxed for that?
Well, then he wouldn't be saying anything. He would just
mean,
be
what-
holding up his
does-
board and
What's he
not-
gonna?
Mouth
Jason
his
Mute
promos?
Is that how that works?
Would
No,
Silent
I don't really.
Bob-
I don't care. Kevin Smith wants to come play with us. He plays by the rules. I don't bend the rules
So
for him.
would Silent Bob be a separate competitor than Kevin Smith, like Finstock and Tom Dagnino have two
Yeah.
different
Right,
records?
right.
Or
Bobby
like
They have two
Gucci.
different records.
hopefully
which is
plan
wild.
Jen and Jessica.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh man. So anything else from this match? Any other takeaways?
Well,
There's
what was
only
the
one
big?
from-
game.
What was the big debacle? I'm trying to remember it because I've not rewatched the match, but it was Empire, and they were going back and
That
forth.
was
That was
different
that was
match.
Pride
Oh,
Butcher Boys. That
yeah.
was the first one.
Okay.
That was Pride's
Yeah.
first match.
Well, wait a
There
minute.
wasn't really any sort of debacle in this one. It went into round 3, and then it was Real Rejects that fumbled the ball with, I think they're
Yeah.
3
They missed
and
the
their
3 on
5,
their
Did
or
those
just
guys
their
play
5.
Just the
those
5?
2 matches in the same day?
No,
Do you guys remember?
no.
Did they film them the same day?
They didn't
Oh,
play
no.
2 matches in the same day
Why do I think that match is the same time? Huh. Yeah.
because
oh, well.
everything blurs together.
It does,
when-
man.
when
Especially
we
you've
haven't
been
been
in that
there.
room.
Jesus.
Well,
You're
there's
like, I don't know
6
what
or 7
day it
matches
is.
in one day. Yeah.
Crap. Yeah.
But anyways, the last question was the one about Pixar and what's the name of the book or the motto of
Oh God, yes.
the main
So,
chef or
yeah.
whatever. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
Yeah,
And
Joseph.
it's anyone can cook, but I forget what they guessed
They
something.
they guessed something. It
They
was
said like Bon Appetit or something.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
not a bad
which is not
guess.
bad.
Which isn't a bad
No, yeah.
guess at all.
Yeah.
Just not the right.
Like if you've
answer.
never seen it, it's a good
It's
call.
no shoots and ladders, but it's a good
No.
Shoots
It's
and
definitely
ladders
not
takes
that.
the cake. It's my favorite answer. It will always be my favorite answer.
Yeah.
I've just
If they
made
had said like supersize me, that would have been something, you know. So-
sweet.
So,
all
but
right,
you
I'll
know
close
what?
Yeah.
The interesting also thing when you talk about the pride is, you know, they're talking about going for the belts, and you know, this did not look like a team ready to go for the belt because 80s seemed to be a big pothole for them, and the first round wasn't particularly great.
It was a
From
big drop
from
from their
Silver
first
Street,
match,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, the 4 out of
Like
8.
their first match, they
Yeah.
had 15 coming out of round 1. This one, they only had like 10 or 11.
They had 11, yeah.
11, yeah,
So-
so that's a decent gap.
Yeah, and I was, not to pick on it too much, but I was looking at the numbers for Rachel in her first round, and through all her matches, she's averaging 4.5 points in the first round. While Ben Goddard, in like 3 of his matches, singles and teams, you know, he's right around 7-8 points every time. And so if they're going to go up against the Final
Deep
Exam or
13.
Deep 13, like if you throw up a 4 in your first round, like you're in some trouble going up against teams
Yeah.
like that who have history of putting up, you know, 6-7 points. You know, Paul Yama and Lon
Per
Harris,
person.
they went perfect in their debut, 9 for 9.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's tough. And then you look at kind of the pothole in 80s, and now teams are going to be keen in on that because, you know, they see it's a weakness. How much can they
Yeah.
shore that up in this quarantine time? You never know what someone can learn during this downtime. So they
Here's-
could look totally different or somewhat different. You never know.
Yeah. My question is, if at the end, Ben talks about how he's never seen a David Lynch movie. And I was like, is this a strategy where that's a strength of his and he is saying this to throw people off? Or is this actually true?
I don't
I thought
think,
it- I
that's
think-
much.
I think people care more about how you answer in the match than you do about than they care about what you say
Right.
outside of it.
Because
If
like a
you-
smart person, like when we do the strengths, you know, when they do the like, this is the team's strengths, would pick things that are not strengths. So that way their opponent would be like, oh,
Won't
that's
pick
their
them.
strength.
Won't pick that,
I'm not
yeah.
going to give that to them.
Yeah.
You know?
even
I just think
even
if
if,
someone good, sorry.
even if in the moment he said that and it is true, then go make it not true. You know? Yeah. So you can.
That clearly means that he's aware that it's a weakness, which he's a smart enough player to turn that into no longer a weakness.
Yeah. Right. So if you want to roll the dice next time, you know, if you want to roll the dice next time on that against him, you know, it could go 50-50.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, I think I saw Bateman backstage handing Goddard a card with a phone number on it to his back surgeon from carrying the Pride so much.
Wow.
So, I don't know. I could have just been seeing things.
You could have been, but I think you probably saw right.
Oh, wow.
Guys, look.
I'm unfamiliar with Backstage. Is that the Finstock propaganda show?
Oh.
Is that what that is? I'm familiar. Sorry.
I always thought it was more like the John Roca "Look at How Awesome I Am" show, but I'm not
sure. Yeah. Look, for someone, I've never seen someone play. It's real brutal, but I've never seen someone play so mediocre and talk so much crap at the same time.
Big talk coming from
because smack talk is fun, and I get it, and I'm sure like Brandon, you and Rachel are cool, but like at some point, like come on, like it's not like you're a world beater out here, and she's the only one seemingly from the den that's throwing crap your way, which kind of boggles my mind because she'll never ever play you, especially in Inner Geekdom. So it's just. And I saw like recent comments on the Elder podcast, Let's Get Ready, and that just like infuriated me because I was like, look, you answer 60% for your entire career. How are you throwing this much heat out there?
Because Frank, there is a children's book that's called Have You Filled a Bucket Today? And they say that someone cannot fill their own bucket by dipping into someone else's. And that's what bullies do. They try to dip into other people's buckets so they feel good, but it doesn't make them feel good at the end of the day.
I mean, I also understand it's probably all in good fun, but at the same time, it's like kind of like I don't know. So it's hard for me to when I see those comments separate it because like at one point I know like this is part of the gig, this is part of the show, but at the same time it's like also be a little realistic with how you've been playing and what you're throwing out there.
They're heels, Frank.
Exactly. And that's why it's all fun. But like I said.
Larry Lease. Thank you, Larry Lease. He says, guys, let's hit that like button. I should probably do it as well. So I'm going to do that. Thanks, Larry. I feel like he's a new watcher, maybe. I feel like he came over from Roxy's show. So thanks for coming on over. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I also wanted to point out that I think Robert Parker's been removing an article of clothing every 10 minutes. So I don't know where this stream is going to end.
No, we are 2 down. I am suffocating with this tie-on, so you can't blame me for that one, and that was because I was getting warm. Eventually, I'll just get down to the Marvel shirt again where I started the stream, like backstage.
Yeah, it was very easy to talk me into putting more clothes on.
I don't know who the Lost Man is. I mean...
Give me that Chan.
I think that's supposed to be
that's his name. Give me that Chan.
I think that's supposed to be the hit man, but
rude.
If you're gonna talk crap to me, at least
give me that Chan.
I should at least know.
I was just deciphering the chat. That's not on me.
Okay.
But where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there? I do want to talk about the upcoming. I don't really want to talk about this Star Wars. First of all, I don't want to talk about any free agency bullcrap. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't care. Second,
I think
that's my personal opinion. Second, I do want to talk about not necessarily the Star Wars tournament, but let's skip over to the IG tournament, which is the actual goods. Yes,
smack talk there.
Is it? It's the wine. Number one. Number two. I mean, it's more because I know more IG movies than I do Star Wars movies.
Okay.
I'll put it as that. What was that noise? Someone?
A motorcycle.
Anyone?
Robert
out there revving his Chevy, or what's going on?
Okay, so we have 4 players in IG.
Yeah, Jesus,
maybe I should do it.
Yeah, 4 of us in here.
Yeah, we do. I do see a comment from Stephanie Begg saying the winner is in this video, and I 100% believe that the winner of the IG tournament is in this video.
Could be.
That's right. Robert Parker.
Could be.
I'm just kidding.
It could be any of us.
Yeah, it could be me. Could be me.
Now, okay.
Maybe not Frank.
Brandon and Mike are on the same side of the bracket. Is that correct? But Brandon, you're at the top of the bracket, and Mike, you're towards the bottom section of the bracket. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's correct.
So your first competitor, Mike, is Greg Alba?
Or Warfather, right?
Yeah,
they have to do a play.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, as you know, I don't know if you watched the backstage. I, of course, got crap for this. They think I've got an easy
I'm not
side.
familiar with backstage. What?
Let me tell you this. I'm going to say this because I'm a topic on that show every single week for some reason.
True.
It's because everyone loves
It's
you.
called a seed. It is a sports. Roca loves sports. It's called a seed. I am the top IG player.
That's why you play the lowest person.
I play the lowest person going in.
There's
no. I mean, we didn't talk about seeding when Mr. Ben Bateman had his brief time as singles champion, and on his side, little do you know, I was supposed to be his place in that singles tournament, but because my surgery, they had to take me out of that. So when we want to talk about seeding and it's not fair and whatnot, we can go the whole route if we want to, but we won't. So they can just shut up where I was placed. I didn't try to get placed there. It's just the way it goes. So that's that.
I don't think you have an easy road either because like Zipper's still over
not.
there, Brandon over
Zipper's
there.
in there. I was concerned with Jeannine and Zipper. That was a match. I was like, holy crap, that's what I got to play next. I mean, even if I make it past, these two guys, it's like I don't take anyone for granted. This is not. I don't ever look at it like, oh, I got the easy side. That's crap. And if you think like that going into a tournament like this. IG's different. I was realizing this. I started, kind of getting back into it. And I was like, IG is different than when I started into it a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. It was a different thing. It was just like, hey, these are fun. I host a Star Wars podcast. Let me come in and see what I can do. That's what everyone was doing. And we were all, these random characters that we've never seen in Schmodown again. This is now people that have seen IG for several years. Like, oh, I know it needs to be done to study. I'm going to go and do this and great, crazy studying. And I'm going to go after these crazy question. So it's a completely different ball game now. I'd say it's even tougher now than singles because everyone knows what movies needs to be studied.
Yeah.
And they've got all that. They've got the Smets. They've got the Parker mindset. It's like, this is ridiculous now. So who knows?
It's way more cutthroat than singles. Way more. Yeah.
Even since it's even more cutthroat than like, I mean, I kind of like frame the modern IG kind of era as starting with the 2018 tournament where Mike and Rachel and Mara, all three of them went on massive runs. And that's when IG changed. That's when it was really taken seriously by the top dogs. Like before that, you had Inman and Navarro, people who like clearly cared, huge geeks who did really, really well in the division. But like to change the how people prepped and to change how the questions were asked and everything, the division changed with that tournament. And now you have people coming in, even people from other divisions like Jeannine and like Jen Barbarian. You have people who take the game seriously, who haven't delved in, and Oyama, yes, exactly. Yeah. People who take the game very, very seriously, people who take studying very, very seriously, who haven't dived into IG before, but now are, and that is intimidating, knowing how much effort they've put into singles and teams where they don't know the movies that are being asked about. When they move into IG, that's extremely that's intimidating for sure.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm with Mike. I'm not like scared of anybody, but you can't take anybody for granted. You just can't in this era of IG.
Yeah, I mean, last night Chance and I we went on a Zoom call for 3 hours with each other. And this kid was answering questions and stumping me on some. And I was getting him with what I was like, okay. So I told him, I was like, hey, buddy, I am doing what I think are the deep cuts, the stuff that's going to get a Parker, that's going to get a Smets, that's going to trip them up. And he was nailing them. And that's Chance, who's, he had one IG match before. So I'm like,
now who's tough. He up against first?
Oyama.
Paul are round one match.
Well, Christian hates Chance. I'm going to say this right now. This poor kid, his singles, and Frankie, you can attest this. His numbers don't back up how good a player he is. Like his wins,
his record. His record.
He's insane, and I cannot wait for us to get back in singles to see this kid take off. I've said he will be a singles champion. Absolutely, that kid. Because he's got the drive, he's got the determination, and he doesn't for me and for other players, a loss gets to us, and we have to find a way to work through it. Chance of loss, he just shrugs it off and he moves on. It doesn't let it get to him. It's like one
of those actors that you're like, this is going to be their breakthrough role, and then it doesn't happen, and you're like, nope, this is going to be their breakthrough role. I'm like,
he's going to be the Leonardo DiCaprio with that Oscar. He's going to get there eventually.
And let me say this about Chance and like what he's had to face publicly. I've never heard him complain about the hand he's been dealt publicly, and that says a lot to me. I mean, sure, privately, I'm sure he's probably under his breath like, can you believe this crap again? You know, blah blah blah. But publicly, I never hear a peep about it. It's always everybody else talking about like him, like especially now that people are really wising up to what he's capable of, and they look at his numbers, and it's just, you know, that's what I really actually kind of admire about Chance, given his situation, especially for the singles, like going up against Ethan and then Bibbs. Ethan Irwin as a rookie. Bibbs, you know, it was like really coming into his prime, and Chance was, you know, obviously very good, and that was a hell of a match. Just a lot of respect for Chance, and I think you're right, Mike. Big things are going to happen for him eventually. I mean, he's going to break that damn down one day. Yeah.
Yep, I do want to ask before, let me do the a few super chats real quick. And then I wanted to ask Brandon a question. Okay. Says Jeannine, hello, lovely people. Brienne, Hotman, Frankie just came out of R&B's birthday call guitar. Okay.
Huh.
I didn't know he had a birthday call. That sounds fun.
I think he's doing like his big Zoom thing.
Oh.
Anyone can just join?
I think so.
Wow.
Interesting. I feel like okay, there we go. I'm trying to find my spot. I need at one point, if I ever do streaming again, I need a producer. Okay, Eric Lane says, let me stop you right there. Mike will win IG.
Hey. And here's the funny thing too, like people are asking me and people are worried because it seems like a lot of people are favoriting me to win. And they're like, oh, does this surprise you because you're always the underdog? And again, I'm not in this to win it. And I know you don't want to hear people say that, but it's more about the team. I have to get us points. I've got to get us on the board where corruption is. You know, Chance and I got to play this more like that. So that's what I'm focusing in match per match. I'm not looking at the final outcome. And again, I don't even know. I mean, you guys might be able to answer this. I don't think, and like Christian said, I don't think it's a guaranteed title shot either.
I don't think anything's been said about that.
Yeah. So I'm playing match for match. I'm taking it one match at a time. You know, because we've got factions now, and it's about factions and getting us up
getting
there,
those reps in, Mike. Getting those reps in. Jake Yakavetta says, I want to hear Hotman/Hitman's response to Saul ripping into him on a stream. This is actually what I did want to ask you about. Not necessarily that particular thing, because I didn't hear the stream. I'm not interested. But I do want to know who is Saul? Why do we care? Go.
Well, first of all, I want to say he put the little asterisk where the I or the O would go. It's kind of like a mini Rorschach test, and the fact that you said Hot Man tells me a lot. But I will say I am working on a formal response to Saul and Kate and all the critics out there that I will be posting on social media.
Perfect. I remember when you had those videos last year, so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So watch out for that. But I mean, Saul's a complete joke. He's just some like fan who like
I just don't know who he is.
Radio show a couple times and thinks he can answer movie trivia questions. And I mean, come on, he doesn't even have a last name. What's that about?
I mean, Jeannine's got a last name, but not really.
That's like Jeannine, I don't know when it was, but I think she and I were talking. We were like trying to write your name for something like, what's Jeannine's last name? It's like, the Machine?
It's Machine. I've been calling her husband Mr. Machine.
No.
You, Brian, Kevin, like, didn't know my last name. Like, you were trying to add my name to a hotel room, and they're like,
yeah, I
was like, wait a minute.
It's French. It's Machinee.
Machine.
It's French. It's Machinee. Exactly. Yeah.
So, like, has Saul done any? Like, is there any game tape on him? What's his deal?
He was a regular caller on Collider Live, and so he got popular because he had his thick New York accent, and people liked him.
At the Fan Expo for Spectacular, he was there on the stage answering questions. Now, I didn't see this for myself, but I had heard. Wasn't that great? And that wasn't. I mean, that wasn't IG, but wasn't that great? So I don't know.
Yeah. Listen, like on these types of show, I like to dip in and out of characters. So here's me like dipping back out for a minute.
Okay.
I have spent time with Saul. Saul. I was gonna say Saul.
Saul.
I already don't care enough to say his name right. So I know he's a fan of Intergeekdom movies, specifically like Star Wars, Star Trek, things like that. But I don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean that he can answer trivia questions about those movies. Because, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, we just saw Ace go up against Howard Parker. That dude loves Harry Potter. And I mean, I know those are some deep questions. I'll give you that, but
Yeah,
I knew at least
couldn't do
3
it.
of those, and I'm like, I am not an IG person, but I did just read all the books, so there's that. So maybe that had something to do with it.
I see. I'm sorry. In the chat, I see Emily Alfredo says he bombed at the Fan Expo, but he didn't hear it from me. That's so. Yeah,
Abby with the
we did not hear that from you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna erase that comment. But Stephanie Begg says, looking forward to seeing Jeannine and IG tourney this year, but Mike's gonna take them all down on the way back to his belt.
It's a road. It is a road. I got 3 people right here in this room, and it's like when I saw your name on that list, I was like, oh God, not again. And she's gonna beat me, and it's gonna be the most embarrassing thing ever.
Well, just like
this is going to be your win against me.
I want to put up points for my faction. Like we didn't really have any kind of sure set IG person. And I mean, I've had my rough road with singles, and so I really wanted to delve into something new. And I have seen firsthand what goes into inner geekdom, so I'm not like sleeping on that. I'm not slouching on that at all, and I'm willing to put in the work. So,
I mean, that's smart. That's why you got picked up, by those guys, because it's like you got to get in there and you got to get points. It's not all about just us, playing for ourselves now.
Yeah. Super chats are real spicy today with King Story Cow.
Look at this one.
Cushing is the IG goat. F you, Mike. Go machine. Rude.
Wow.
Rude.
I can give Cushing that as well. You can say all you want about Cushing and try and dig me down, but I'm going to go along with you on that one. So, one person I want to talk crap about.
Cushing is amazing.
Jeannine, wasn't yours the match that got switched in the updated bracket?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that because there were too many of your faction on the same side?
Me and Jen were both on the same side.
Yeah.
And I think they could have ended up playing each other in the second round.
Right.
Or no.
That was the same thing on the other side.
In the semis.
Opposite quadrants.
Yeah.
Barbarian and Emily Rose Jacobson.
That's right.
That was the problem.
Yeah.
That
was the problem.
I'm facing probably the Barbarian, because I think I can't remember who the Barbarian is.
I mean, like, it makes life easier for me because I'm much more afraid of Jeannine than Emily Rose Jacobson. So help me out.
Yeah,
there you go. Because Jeannine, you're up against John.
Took a little pressure off me too. So. But then again, you got Zipper with the Dungeon Boys, and
Zip's taking it seriously, man.
Smits is studying. I'm sure he's
so underrated
too. So
yeah.
Who is he up against now?
Zipper's first round was Jeannine, and now it's Emily Jacobson, who played in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
That could go either way.
I'm excited to see Zip. I'm excited to see what the dungeon can do.
You're gonna see a new Zip in IG for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You training him?
Indirectly, Kevin and I are both we're having a go at it. Same with.
Is he like, this is too intense for me?
I don't want this. What are we doing? All right, okay.
He hasn't said it yet, but he also hasn't eaten in 5 days, so that might have something to do with it.
Is he okay?
Yeah, it's part of the
regiment.
No. We'll take care of it. When Kaiser says he's ready, then he'll be ready.
You starve him with food, so he's hungry for learning.
Exactly. Then he's hungry for the win. I mean, it just feels so much better when you win if you haven't had a sustenance in 6 weeks.
Now,
I don't believe in that training regiment.
Okay, now I have a question. Are you guys already? Have you been scheduled for matches to record already?
I have to hold.
That I can do so.
Mine is like, I guess, all but 100% confirmed.
Okay.
They gave me dates, but because I'm have to do the put in, the player of the put in, they've got to do that first. So I'm gonna play towards the end.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Mike.
Oh, you guys are both so good. You just both play in matches.
I was talking about this behind the scenes to a couple people that I don't understand why I'm the 2 seed compared to Brandon. So that's all I'll say.
It's interesting because I wasn't gonna there was a lot of talk of me not, I was taking a backseat to IG, and that's why I gave Chandru kind of the bye with that not playing him. And I told him, I forgot I was telling him, this was almost when I lost the belt. I kind of wanted to say things like, I want to go back through IG and play everybody again. Like I wanted to do a ladder, like just go and play everybody and beat everybody in a row. And Christian was like, I can't put you at the bottom. That's crap. I was like, oh, all right. I felt like I kind of had to re-earn myself. I had went so high, and I was like, you get so high and then you burn yourself and you fail. And I was like, well, let's just go to the bottom and work our way back up. But then this tournament kind of got not forced on us. The current world situation kind of presented itself to be this. Because now, Parker, were you guys, and Brandon and Jean, were you guys part of? Because remember there was talk they were going to do an IG tournament, but it wasn't for points.
Yeah, that was like that was right when quarantine was starting. There was talk of doing it.
Yeah, because I was not going to do that. That was a I was
I was still involved then.
And then it got canceled, so I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's back on.
I think that was before they decided to do only one match a week. I think at that point they were still doing 2 matches a week.
Gotcha.
So now once they switched that, then they could like drag it out's the wrong word, but they could like delay having to upload new matches. I think that was part of the decision making there.
Ryan Kramer, I think you're making up records in the chat.
Brandon is not 0-2.
So you
Brandon
know.
is not 0-2.
People love to forget. People love to forget that I started my IG career 2-0. They love to forget it. They love to forget that I have one of the highest accuracies of all time. They love to forget it. It's fine. You know what? And Mike was kind of talking about sometimes you get really high up in the ladder and you get burnt out, and sometimes you just get stuck in purgatory where they just have you play Chandru over and over and over and over again.
What did you do?
That-
It's like Lost.
It was like
You're on-
Groundhog
you're
Day.
on the
That's not
island.
purgatory. That must be your personally designed hell.
It's Dante's.
Yeah. But I'm excited for the tournament to get some wins under my belt again, and I really do hope I get to play you, Mike, because I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and again, I'm not sleeping on it. People, it's gosh, those matches can go any way, and it's only 3 rounds, so it's you know, I mean, I was kind of hoping, and you guys probably were all in on that voting where we were talking about adding slices to the wheel for IG or just slices in general. And I was really hoping before this tournament started, we'd get those in there, but it looks probably next season because that would kind of level the playing field a little bit, you know, make it a little more broad for everybody. But
add in things like fantasy, sci-fi, that kind of thing.
I think it was more specific franchises.
No specifics. It was like Terminator, Predator.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what was
Twilight. Yes, I'm in. Fast and Furious. Yes, let's do it.
That was one of the options.
Furious is not
I refuse to vote Fast and Furious in.
I was like, nope to that.
Nope.
Cutter Hale says, Mike, I'm a big fan. You are going to crush IG. And again, with the spiciness, AJ Lancaster follows it up, and then Parker is going to knock him out.
Wow.
My goodness, everyone. So spicy.
It is a spicy chat.
Well, I've seen Parker play, so it's Parker's the kind of guy. Smets got there eventually in our match where Parker, you can't miss a question, man. It's the way it is. You cannot miss a question with him.
I'm well aware.
So
I would
that's
like
the way
to
it goes in IG,
apologize
like with everyone in IG now.
Yeah.
You can't miss questions.
Apology accepted.
Okay, good.
For now.
We'll see.
The thing is, even if they add like new categories, everybody who's at the top is just going to spend 2 months memorizing those categories too. Like, I understand wanting to add it in for like question diversity, but to like level the field between competitors are still going to do the same thing that they do with the current categories.
But I think they're just trying to do something like how they did with singles, how they're going to add.
That's totally fair.
I'm dying.
It's
too hot.
I'm not crazy.
You never wanted to get in it, and I would love. I'm excited for the Star Wars tournament because I really think Laura Kelly's got a shot at it.
Yeah.
You don't
want spelled Adam Witt. Sorry, I'll just fix your autocorrect.
For everybody, it's like for the longest time, it was a Damon. It's like no one could beat this kid, and no one.
Which Damon? Because our Molly Damon is probably going to do something.
Well, that'd be interesting to see a little lovers.
I'm gonna go against the grain here and be out of character and say Joseph Scrimshaw is gonna win the whole thing.
Oh, that guy's had his chance.
He's always good.
He's real good.
I love his character that he brings too, because he's just like he has this presence that is just hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like Chance, he's always this close. He's always this close. And
I think Star Wars would be great.
I know how that feels.
He's gonna get his DiCaprio Oscar eventually.
Brianne, I agree. Fast should be IG. It should. Thank you.
No, Brianne, you don't play IG, so you don't get a say.
Although
you're right. Maybe I would play if Fast were in there.
Just a vote for Fast and the Furious. Christian, I'm playing IG.
I'm a proponent of putting Bond in, though. I am, just because the amount of chaos it would cause.
There you go, buddy. There you go.
And you'll never see Cushing return.
Aww.
But I do think it could be.
Jake Rochavetta says, "I got Demolanta. What about what? Are we sleeping on him?"
I'm not.
He's really, really good, and he's studying like a maniac, and he has his own Schmodown podcast, and he talks maybe a little bit too much about his studying. But
too many secrets.
He's good, and he's taking it seriously.
Yeah.
But he's got Scrimshaw in round 1.
Yeah.
And that is a tall hill to climb coming from 0-2.
But I mean, against Kelly, like
someone who actually is 0-2
against Laura Kelly, like she missed one question and he missed 2, and that's why she won.
Yeah.
The whole match.
The one he missed was also his 5, and she didn't miss her 5 though.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be high
Wasn't
level.
his 5
play
a Clone Wars question though? Oof.
Yeah, his 5 was a planet from the Clone Wars movie.
I already forgot.
I don't remember the answer.
You love those 5-point Star Wars questions, Brandon.
No, I do not love 5-point Star Wars question at all.
My son the other day just was showing me like he was like, Star Wars did something just like Endgame. And I was like, what was it? And he like gave me 2 quotes from Endgame. And then he gave me 2 quotes from Rise of Skywalker. And I was like, you're right. They're like exactly the same. And I can't remember what they were, but I was like,
nothing when I saw it in Star Wars.
It was the I am inevitable versus I am Iron Man versus I am all the Sith and I am all the Jedi.
Yes, that's exactly it, Brandon.
Yeah.
But I was like, for him, a 7-year-old, to like do that comparison, he's ready for IG. He's coming for y'all. That's what it is. He's got his Back to the Future down. He like stumped. He stumped Mark Ellis.
That was a fun video.
Aw.
Listen, I'll play him. People keep saying I'm afraid to play children, which is why the rumor spread that I didn't want to play Parker, but I'll play him.
You heard it here first, Brandon. Hanna, certified baby puncher. That's what you just heard.
Not afraid of kids.
With trivia knowledge.
I see.
AU says Mike is Mount Rushmore and SD overall, not just IG. He's getting that belt back. Mike, your passion for DC is awesome. You gonna crush this tourney.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. That means a lot.
He really is.
I don't know how you do 3 leagues,
I haven't seen him
Mike.
at all this whole time.
Well, I'm sorry, Brian. What was that?
I don't know how you do 3 leagues. That just seems really emotionally draining.
Seems like it's not a big deal anymore. Seems like everybody wants to do it. I gotta say this. I gotta say this. I was looking forward to seeing Dan in the tournament, but I 100% respect the way he addressed the fans.
Absolutely.
You know, I 100% respect that because he understands the game enough and he respects it enough where he's like, you know what, I gotta make it. He knows who he is. He knows we all had eyes on him. We all know we want to beat him in IG. And he came in, he's like, look, I'm got this, my business going on, my personal
just launched his channel.
He's got the team's belt and the singles belt. And, I kind of wish looking back on last year, I had his, I don't know, fortitude, if that's not the right word, or wherewithal to go, hold on a sec. I need to slow down because my ego and my getting caught up in it lost me all my belts. And really, I just was all over the place, scatterbrained. It all came to a head at Spectacular where I was not answering round 1 questions that are like IMDb level. And I was just like, and I knew the answer, I just couldn't pull it. Yeah. So I have all the respect for him. I can't wait till he comes into it. I think he'll do great. I know I give a lot of crap to him and the GOAT and all that. But I have nothing but respect for Dan as a player. And for what he said, it was just great. But it seems like everyone now, Barbarian, that I haven't heard about him on IG, but apparently this kid's the kid people are talking about. Everyone says, oh, he's going to roll over Parker. I was like, I've seen Parker play. I don't know about that.
I'm interested because he and I talked IG a little bit when I was in LA for my first taping, and he knows his stuff. I don't know, like he's just a knowledgeable guy in general. Like he's just a smart dude. Right. So it's hard to like gauge how he would do on the desk with real IG questions.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing.
Like he knows certain categories and stuff.
You guys
but
know the IG questions. They're different than regular questions.
Yeah.
Our IG level round 1 are like round 2 and round 3 singles.
It's like what type of sandwich does Black Widow make for Captain America?
But I knew the answer. And it sucked. In our match, like name 2 characters that have siblings in Lord of the Rings. I forgot the way it was worded.
Oh yeah.
But like had relations. That is such a great question. But again, you only get 15 seconds to do that. And there was like 3 of them. There's Gandalf, Gloin, and Thandril, which was the one I couldn't pull. I was like, oh God, what's his name? Pace. But it's a great round 1 question for IG, but it's deep. It's like you've got to put 2 and 2 together. You got to put all 6 movies together. It's not just who played Thandril.
And those are great questions. Like those type of questions that really make you think more than who plays this top 3 build actor. Like those are the type of questions that I love when they come in.
Shout out to Parker and not Parker. I'm sorry, Patrick and Skaliski after that match. I was like, hey guys, I know I lost, but those questions were all great. Every question in that match, and that's the thing. You guys can attest. If you lose, you lose, and it sucks. But if they're great questions and you can't you can't argue
there's
it.
Holes to poke in the match itself.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I lost.
Movie Fanobi says, is a beard a requirement for IG these days? Poor Alex. Also, I don't want Jeannine wearing a Finstock mask to compete.
Well, I've already stopped shaving, so I think I'll be ready.
Oh, wow. You and Rossi, apparently.
The last one.
I will say this: fool's gill on the quote. Yeah, that robot question that I lost on, that was BS.
Oh, the dummy.
That was.
Oh man, that's a 10-pointer.
That was rough.
Did you know at least you, or no? Did you know dummy?
No, because I'll say this. Let me talk about this now because I wasn't mad. I walked off. I was like, oh, I lost. That's it. And then the more I sat home, I was like, that whole weekend it bugged me. I was like, oh, I got to think about this. So I looked it up, and the way the question was worded was like Tony Stark's arms in all movies in the Spider-Man movie, but like then Tony Stark never interacts with them in Homecoming. Happy does. Yeah. And if you pause it at one scene, you see it written on it. But if you watch the movies with closed captioning, it spells out D-U-M-M-Y, not D-U-M-E.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, just call him a dummy, and U is spelled Y-O-U. Yeah. It's not U. So you're just like, instead of youth, you're like, well, it's not a name. It is. So, and that was the weekend. Christian had family, his whole family issues. So I couldn't reach out to him, and I wasn't going to bother him with it.
Right.
It was just, I let it go. It's like there was nothing you could do, but that was a. And luckily, since then, we've never had a question, or I've never dealt with a question that was like that. That was a man.
The only other one that people seem to say, and I don't personally agree with this, but Jason's 5-pointer, Inman's 5-pointer, at
the wine one,
the live event, the wine one. I don't. A lot of people were like, "Oh, Rachel didn't know it. It must be an impossible Lord of the Rings question," which is a fair benchmark.
Right.
But
I'll say this: I had that.
Those were in 2018. Like those are both 2-year-old questions at this point.
I had those in my notes, the year and the make.
Of
Model One, but I would not have pulled it. I wouldn't have pulled it unless I had studied that page before the match. I wouldn't have pulled that, but it was there just because I remember watching the movie. But I think, I don't know.
It's a throwaway line. It's a small detail, but that's what IG's here for.
Yeah, you're right, buddy.
To an extent, like that's why the division exists.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but I'm right with Rachel, and I'll never. It was our match against when she pulled the book, the page that Snape tells them to turn to.
Yeah,
I was like, hats off to you. Like I knew the ballpark of it, but I was like, that she pulled that. I was like, that's great.
That one stuck with a lot of people because it was in the trailer.
They can hear it the way.
That's a very quoted line, like in the Harry Potter sphere. Yeah.
Okay.
So what page is it?
394.
394.
In my head, I was saying 594 for some reason. But
I even find myself now that I'm studying for this tournament, I'm literally writing down notes for throwaway lines on the off chance that something like that.
But I'll say this: like what I have to do is, and I'm teaching chance. It's like, and it shows in my gameplay. I study so deep that the easy stuff gets by me that you don't even think about, and you're just like you study so deep. So you've got to find that balance between knowing those deep cuts, but also knowing the IMDb.
That's what happened to Smets.
You know what I'm curious about?
When he forgot Ray Park.
Yeah, Ray Park.
Yeah.
And even Don't Tell Peter, like that moment. I mean, people point to that moment as like a big misstep, but I feel like if he had not studied as deep, he probably takes his time. Like in the moment,
he did kind of take his time.
He did.
Go back and watch it.
Yeah, he did.
That's right. He takes a breath.
It was just a flub.
I think that was Kevin Smith in his head, like he used to get. Because if you ever used to watch him during matches, he would get so nervous and he was sweating.
He used to text me the second his matches got over and be like, "I missed this. Oh my god, can you believe I missed my perfect game again?"
He's found how to play now, but those early days, I thought he was going to pass out.
What I'm curious about is for you, Jeannine. This is like your first time really diving into inner geekdom studying. Like, what's that switch been like? I mean, you have obviously a great resource with many people, namely Rachel Cushing, someone to lean on. What's it been? I don't know what it's been like for you to like get into that process as opposed to studying for general, singles or teams.
I mean, it's been intense. I've had to watch like whole kind of franchises that I hadn't really delved into before, and that I was kind of like scared of, but I actually have been enjoying them, so it's been easier to kind of retain things. And I've had actually many people kind of reach out to want to help me and help me study and figure things out. So I feel good about it. It's a lot. It's very intense. I kind of knew what I was getting into because I've been around it. I've helped other Intergeekdom players study, so I kind of know. But
no, you did? No, I didn't know. I think there's 3 or 4 people in this chat room, or maybe 5 that helped someone study. No, I didn't know that, guys.
Hey, did you ask me? Because someone asked me. Okay.
Again, hey, my own fault. I thought I was the king. I thought I could do no wrong, and Coach need a village,
I don't think people realize this. Anytime anyone in the Schmodown asks me for help, I will help them. That's just how it is.
Now it's like, with regular play, there's really, I mean, when people talk about studying and stuff, I for regular play, I don't really have a study thing. It's not.
Yeah.
You can watch
a regular study routine for regular play.
Let's say for singles or teams, let's say I've got a match in a month. I could watch 2 movies a day, and there's a good chance that not one of those movies will be asked. So it's like, it's a crapshoot, it's, I have a whole new way I'm studying for singles and
trivia
stuff.
books that I memorized the entire trivia book.
Oof.
Like that's what it came down to. Did it help? No.
You might get asked those questions.
I mean, I remember there was a specific question that was in our match against you, Mike, with DC Movie News that I got on a steal because it was in one of the books. And I was like, this is in that book.
It finally paid off.
I think that's why Ben is such a good player, is because he understands that it's not just knowledge of question. It's strategy. It's how you play the game.
Yeah.
That's where it comes in. You're hey, I can watch X amount of movies only gets you so far.
Yeah,
let me ask you this.
Ben won a championship off of it. He knew how to play.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Yeah. When you talk about strategy, I don't, and you guys would be better to tell me how much strategy plays differently between singles and teams than Intergeekdom, because I feel like Intergeekdom there may be less game strategy as opposed to like study strategy that matters more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
what's that balance like?
I with these guys, and I'll say this, like let's say I'm playing Parker and he spins opponent's choice. The only thing I know strategy is I'm not giving him Middle Earth. That's it. That's
because you saw that.
Shame.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that before the match, and it's just like, but with any of these guys, I'm like, there is no strategy. Your spinner's opponents is kind of worthless. It's not going to do anything.
Right.
I mean, what do? You just for me with IG, I just play you have to play yourself. Like, focus on yourself, answer each question. Don't worry about what that score is on that side. I think where strategy does come in, and it kind of showed in my game against Rachel, is the betting round.
Sure.
If I would have bet one more point, that would have been it.
Yeah, 5-round matches, that's a different story.
Yeah. That's where strategy's got to come in, is that betting round. But other than that 3-round match, nope. You just play yourself.
Frank,
Fanobi says, Brienne, Mike, do you miss the storylines you had? I look fondly back on those storylines.
We had great storylines. Like, we had a lot, like the prom king and queen that won Schmodown Award. Yeah,
that was fun. That was fun.
Sure, it was.
Sure, I guess I missed that, but like, there's no way I could keep up competing. Like, I just broke down. It's a lot. Yeah, I think I'm in a better place now, like being on the desk and stuff.
I've talked a little bit about this on backstage and what happened with me at Spectacular. Keeping up the character, and I just walked off stage. I was embarrassed for the match I gave Smets, and I couldn't focus, and I just walked off, and I didn't want to come back on stage, and I was just like, Christian's like, Mike, you got to get out there, got to do the storyline, and Shannon took over, and I went away from the Schmodown for about a month because I didn't like the person I was becoming. I didn't handle that well. I was handled like a child, and I had to kind of take a step back, and like I told Christian, I've taught it before, and it's like I had to refine the love of the game. Because I love the character work. I love playing. I love everybody involved.
And you're so good at it.
It just became too much. And I just like, I have to find the love of the game. And that's where I found it again with our match against the family. I had such a great time, and we won. It was a great match. Yeah. Both teams played great. But it's tough. It's because, being heel character and
yeah. It seems like the swings between like the highs and the lows are so dramatic. You know, it's got to be tough to grapple with.
Yeah,
getting TKO twice in a row hasn't affected me at all, Frank. What are you talking about? I'm fine. Fine.
Eric Lane says there is an IG player in the tourney who's played several matches and never gotten a single Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings Middle Earth question correct ever.
Who
is that?
That'd be my guess. I don't know for sure.
Who is it?
My Frank can look. I don't. My guess would be Adam Hlavik. My guess would be
look that up. Actually, I do have that information.
I know he's.
Hey, Eric, is it Adam Hlavik?
I'll say this: I've played Hlavik, and
Adam's
he's
good.
great.
Yeah,
like he nailed that one question. Was it All Along the Watchtower? The song for a watch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've got it.
Point question.
And he threw it out. It's a 3-pointer, which is first. That's a 5-pointer. But he threw it out like he didn't even think of it. It's like, oh god, darn it, damn! I thought I had this game. So I don't sleep on Hlavik. I really don't. No. I think he's a player that just loves to come in and play. Yeah. I don't think his stakes. He's invested in it, which is great. You know, that's how you got to play.
Stephanie Banks says, Jeannine, what kind of themed costumes can we look forward to during the upcoming IG matches? Your entrances, cosplay is awesome. Don't answer that just yet. Mike, off topic, but with WB working on Lantern Corp, any chance of seeing you in green anytime soon? So we'll go to Jeannine first, then we'll go to Mike.
Well, I don't know how much I can do over streaming, like anything really exciting.
You can make some sort of entrance. We've done this for the exhibition match for the rom-coms. So
I haven't really thought about it because I'm kind of like, I don't know if I can do anything really elaborate. I mean, I know I'm gonna be, the arm is always gonna be a thing now. When I'm the machine, I'm wearing the arm. But yeah, we'll see. Now I'm like, now the pressure's on. I'm like, okay, man.
Now you got to think about it. And then Mike, I don't know that other person's comment. Michael Cannon's comment. Is there a green?
They're working on Green Lantern for HBO Max, buddy. I would love to. My people, my agents and managers are always working for me to get me on those shows, those superhero shows. So I'm definitely thank you for that. And your avatar picture is awesome. That little Green Lantern picture is awesome. So yeah.
Call me Cobster. I thought Hanna would reach the semifinals against KO in my bracket, but after seeing Damon, no spoilers, in the Lord of the Ring exhibition, I changed my mind. Well, how dare you call me Cobster?
Let me say this. Can I address this real quick?
Yeah.
Because I did see this, and it was a heck of a match. Insane match. But when we're playing this match in an IG 3-round tournament, you are only going to get minimum one Lord of the Rings question. You're going to get it in round 1. You might not get it round 2. You might not get it round 3. So the fact that he proved that, it doesn't really prove anything to me.
And we saw him play IG.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's it doesn't. Yes, it's great. And the match he played, and it surprised the hell out of me. I was like, oh man, this guy's a threat. He's really, that's another category he's great at. But again, you could IG, you can't put your eggs all in one basket because you might only get one question. I mean, we play matches where I've got one Potter question that popped up, and that was what I studied before the match. Yeah, you can't bet on that, man.
And you might get lucky and get that. You might get lucky and get that category too.
Exactly.
Like
you're right.
Hot man, are any of your crushes in the room? Don't know what this refers to, Movie Fanobi, but I'm assuming yes. Obviously, I don't know what's happening.
To my show that I did with Jeannine on Wednesday, where we talked about our favorite fictional character crushes.
Yes.
I'll say Movie Fanobi, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe leave it open.
Leave it open.
I mean,
I also want to address this Alex Damon thing because I mean, he's great in Star Wars. He's proven to be great in Lord of the Rings. But guess what? I'm also great in Lord of the Rings. I just wasn't asked to be in the exhibition match, which is fine.
It's true. I've asked you some Lord of the Rings questions before.
There's only so many spaces for a match. I get it. I'm not liked. It's fine. I know. I'm a heel. God. But
it's going around.
I know it doesn't mean much to say when you play along to a match from the sidelines because it's completely different to be under the lights. But I played along to that Alex Damon, Emily Jacobson match in Atlanta, and I would have TKO'd him. So he doesn't scare me too much. I'm never going to underestimate the guy because, hell, I don't know. He could beat me. Things happen, but I'm confident in my abilities against him. So you need to switch your prediction back to me if you're smart.
So that Eric Lane's question, and I guess his answer for who's never answered a Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings Middle Earth question was Adam Lavick. I looked at my numbers, and Adam Lavick's answered 1 Harry Potter and 1 Lord of the Rings and 2 Hobbit questions. Okay. So I don't know if I'm wrong now or if he's wrong.
No, he's probably gotten around 1 Hobbits, right? Like back when Hobbit was its own category, before they combined it to the Middle Earth category.
Right.
That actually sounds right.
Then who is it?
Who is it?
I mean, that's who he's citing is his answer.
Oh, that's who he's saying.
So I went back and looked. And I was like, well, he answered.
Could it be Zip?
Harry Potter. He's like, no.
Zip got Harry Potter in round 2 against Lavick. I think actually did pretty well on it.
So I don't know. I have to go back and check my numbers, but I doubt that I'm wrong. So.
Brandon Heelman Hanna, then movie Finobi.
Humble brag from Frank, by the way. There, we're just gonna glean past that one.
Yep.
Listen, I checked my notes. Fact check this. Guys, it's a lot of Schmodown. Is there anything you want to discuss before we get out of here that isn't Schmodown? That's a deep question.
Oh, God.
Is there anything other than Schmodown?
Well, I have a crush on Robert Parker, guys.
Okay.
It's mutual, Brandon. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Brandon, I love your beard. That's what I'm going to talk about for the next 5 minutes.
You. I love the way you strip.
Your game in this room is good. I'm liking it.
Well, you're the first person now. Well, I
will say this. I recently watched Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie.
Not bad.
I surprised how much I enjoyed it, actually.
Not bad. You should watch Spies in Disguise.
Okay, Spies in Disguise.
I think you'd like it. Those shorts are pretty amazing, too.
Okay. But, like, Sonic was great. I thought it, like, at the beginning, really made me really sympathetic for the character. And I don't give too much of it if you want to see it. But I was like, dang, they really sold me here in the first 10 minutes of the movie. So
there's one part of the film that Rylan made me go over and over and over again. It's like, welcome to my live stream. When like Sonic's like,
oh yes,
guys, welcome to my live stream.
I love Sonic, man. I really love this movie, guys.
Abigail Friel gave us a heart. Thank you, Abby. That was so nice.
It's a very generous heart.
That is a generous heart.
Look at her. I miss her TikTok.
So no, there's nothing else in life.
What do you want to talk about? I can
Hold
talk.
up. Did Mr. Mike Kalinowski say he's going to start TikTok? That's what I just heard.
No. I said I miss her TikToks.
Oh, I thought I'm not going to start TikTok.
You see this? That's gray hair, my friend, right there. That's gray hair. I don't do TikTok. No, sir.
Yeah.
But John
I don't even
like
understand what
he's got one.
it is. I don't know.
John has one?
Yeah.
I think he's only
that's cute.
That's cute.
He's like, he's like Steve Buscemi. Howdy, fellow kids. What's the line?
What's up, fellow kids?
Yeah.
Wait a second. They're saying Roka is in TikTok. Roka does TikTok.
He said 2 of them.
And no, Abby, I'm not joining TikTok. No, ma'am. Unless you and I meet up at a live event and you teach me how to do it, because I don't even get it.
Yeah,
Abby to do it in Atlanta.
I'm only on TikTok because of Abby. So, yeah, she might get you.
You do some good TikToks, though, Jeannine. I enjoy them.
No, Jeannine, yours are good. Oh, Jeannine, I should say this, and I'm not going to. I should say it now. I could say it, but damn it.
Say it.
You posted your TikTok about you changing the outfits, and Shannon's like, oh, Mike, you got to respond to this. And I had such a good thing to go to. I was ready to hit send. And in my head, I'm like, what if I lose to her, though? Oh, what if I suck? I'll look so bad. So I was like, nah, I can't do it. I don't want to. In my head, I'm like, I don't want to poke the bear. Don't want to poke the bear. I was like, fuck. But I had something so good. So good.
I would have come back.
It would have been glorious.
I miss our back and forth.
Wait, hold on. All right. I'm going to mute myself. I'll be right back. Hold on.
I never ask myself, what if I lose? I just go for it. Honestly, and like, this is a little behind the curtain with the way scheduling works out sometimes. I have to talk crap about Chandru weeks after I've lost to him.
You do a great job of that, I will say.
He sells it. There was the one time he tweeted about like taking Chandru for ice cream after he beats him, and he goes, but you don't get any sprinkles because sprinkles are for winners. Which is incredible.
Toppings in general are for winners. Yeah. You get frozen yogurt if you win an exhibition match, though. That's the rule.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a good rule.
Established rule, yes.
Did you decide if you're going to tell us, Mike, or?
I can't remember it. And it doesn't. I'll be honest with you. What I'm thinking it doesn't sound as good now anymore. This is immediately as good as when she posted because it was such a good TikTok. It was perfect. And I was just and no one had commented yet because it had just been, and I was gonna be like the first comment. I was like, oh, this is gold.
Was your word gonna be first? That's comment first.
Oh boy. No, I miss that fun. And that's why I was kind of looking forward. Well, I mean, there's still a chance, man. We still could be facing up against each other. We're going at now. Here's a talk. Okay, real quick. Jeannine, how are you feeling now? You got Ethan back on that side with you guys.
I'm feeling really good.
Like that whole that was
a huge hit. So we were kind of like, we were the only faction I think that had maybe a lot of open spots.
Right.
And McWeenie was kind of like our star. So yeah, we were a little not happy about that. So I'm really happy to have Ethan back. I mean, there's talks of Time Machine reuniting.
I tell you, when you guys were a team, that was a scary team. That was like one of those
holy crap. We were just kind of hitting our stride. So
that's a great team.
That would be exciting, but whatever Sam wants to do, I think I'd be a great team with Atchity as well.
Yeah.
I know the game really well, so I would prevent him from giving away wins.
From not winning.
Giving away wins.
To see the two of you on a it would be oh god, what's that one movie with, is it Steve Martin and Queen Latifah?
Bringing down the house?
He's like trying to teach him everything, and he's just like, oh my god, see the two of you, and seeing you try. It's like, no, you don't do that. Like during a match would be brilliant.
Be
brilliant.
Kind of like that.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Movie Fanobi says Roka is old enough to have wound TikTok clocks. So there you go.
Hey, Mike's only a year younger than me.
There you
go. Right. That's what he likes to cite now.
Yeah. Which I'm only a couple years younger than him.
Can you just do that impression one more time for everybody?
What?
Robert Parker.
Yogi Bear?
No, he's Elvis. It's Mike Kalinowski as Elvis as Roka.
The only Schmodown impression I can do is Kaiser.
Wow, you do it great.
Do it.
Yeah.
I got my boy Zip here, hanging outside of 7-Eleven, studying trivia. I'm getting myself a Slurpee. That's okay, because Kevin's training him hard, real hard. We're gonna win, and then you know what? We're gonna get some hamburger.
Good.
Man, right
that
off
was
the top.
good. That was spot on. I like to think of the free agent draft as like the mid-year rush for sororities. I don't know if any of you are thinking of like fraternity sorority, where it's like, come join our house.
Oh, that was something. That was something.
Yeah,
I don't have to worry about that. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Whatever I do.
Right. Yeah,
AJ Lancaster says,
oh, yeah.
Can we just acknowledge the brilliance of Corruption's post-match snacks?
Of course we can.
It's the best recurring bit in the league. Okay, so you've had lollipops.
They're lollipops.
Is that?
I think is that the one you're talking about, AJ? The lollipops.
You had ice cream after.
I had ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream.
I have to give you props on that. Oh,
yeah. After you beat Smets at Collision, you pounded crushed soda.
Oh, that's right. Crushed soda.
You need to do chips sometime. That's a good one.
Snacks. That's right. I gotta be like Brad Pitt in his movies, always eating something.
Right.
He is always eating something.
And I gotta tell you, that's why I love doing cut scenes with or scenes with Andrew Guy, because all of that was improv. The whole deep throating the lollipop and all that. And it's okay. Give me a hug. Like it's all improv with that guy, and that's why he's so good, because you can just trust him. We just had a lot of fun with that.
See, I'm not the only one. I literally had the same thought about sororities. Oh my god, it's so true.
We might get the same thing in the off season.
I want to see Rush. Like, I feel like I've always wanted to have a fraternity sorority composite for the Schmodown, so people can see like who everyone is. First of all, so we know everyone's names, because anytime you get new people, it's like, I don't know who you are. Like, oh, I can put on the composite, and I know your name. And then it has like the officers up at the top, the people that like.
I wish I could find our composite from Christianized fraternity, or find a picture of it. I wish I still had that somewhere.
Wait. I'm gonna guess.
What's up?
So which fraternity? But now I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
Pi Kappa Phi.
Yeah, we were Pi Kappa Phi. Pi Cap, not Pike. We're not Pikes. That was.
I know you're not Pike.
We're not Pikes.
There was one time I went. I was out with.
How did she know that?
Ellis, and I was out with Josh McCouga, and he was like, "What fraternity do you think I was in?" I was like, "SAE." Totally. And he's like, "How did you know?" I was like, "I don't know."
I just gonna look at you and tell.
Parker, Hanna,
Huh?
Frank,
What?
You guys in a fraternity?
No,
I was never in a fraternity.
Sorority?
No.
No.
Oh,
We weren't allowed to have
Just
fraternity.
me, my blue blazer, my khaki pants. Of course you were, Brienne. Of course you were.
Of course. And then I dropped out my senior year. That's totally typical me. Like,
Wow.
nope, I'm out of here. This was fun. See ya.
I decided to, instead of paying to play beer darts on the lawn, I just did that instead for free.
Yeah.
Mine was more housing based. Like, where am I going to live? Because I came in as a sophomore. So, it's like, where am I going to stay?
I was totally against joining fraternity. I didn't want to do it my freshman year. And after one semester, my best friend and I were roommates, and we're like, nope, join a fraternity. This sucks. Because if you're a guy, it sucks. If you're a girl, you don't matter. You can go to the parties and everything. But if you're a dude,
you can't get.
I was at Florida State. I was Florida State. So at the time, Florida State was like one of the top party schools in the nation. This is a different time than most of you guys remember. It was the 90s. College was a different thing.
I remember it well.
There's no such thing as dry campuses back then.
Oh man.
But different thing nowadays. So
my campus was a dry campus.
Of course
you go.
Brutal.
I went to school nobody's ever heard about. Central Connecticut State University. Go Blue
Wow.
Devils.
You're right. We haven't heard of it.
Go what?
Anything about Fresno?
Blue Devils. Home of the Blue Devils.
Blue Devils. Jeannine, you're Fresno State?
There's a lot of people not liking the fraternities and sororities in the chat there. Sorry, guys.
How dare you all?
It's a different time period. It's a different time period. You guys got to remember, I'm older than a lot of you guys. So
who can guess it?
What's up?
Who can guess my sorority?
Oh, geez. Well, you're not a Tri-Delt.
True.
I don't even know what any of these
Maybe
words.
you're a Delta Gamma.
Theta.
80 Pi.
Theta.
80 Pi.
None of these. My mom was a Theta. I wanted to be a Delta Gamma. They didn't want me. My sister was a Kappa Gamma. Kappa Gamma. I was not any of those.
Delta Zeta?
No.
I don't know.
We didn't have that.
Charlie Zulu.
Pi,
Alpha
rhombus,
Phi,
rectangle.
guys.
Alpha what?
Alpha Phi.
Alpha Phi. I've never heard
Also
of
known as all for free. That's unfortunately. That's the nickname. It's just because it rhymes. Okay. It's just rhymes.
Oh, we got it.
All right. A Christian sorority. I don't even know if USC had a Christian sorority camshaft. I'm not sure about that. All right, it's time for us to get out of here. So let's. My kids did want to have their little chickies on the stream today, so I said I would have them on the stream. One of them is named Chickadee Doodles, and one of them is named Chickadee Day. So
Wow.
Chickadee Doodle, Chickadee Day.
Okay.
You don't mean yes and one's no. You don't. One's yes.
Yes. Just like in the Back to the Future match with Mark Ellis. So let's go around the horn, as John Roca might say, and let's say our goodbyes. Brandon, Hanna, let's start with you. My friend.
Me first. Thank you. Oh, wow. Where do I start? Well, my name is Brandon Hanna. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at BrandonHanna07. You could also find me on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Brandon Hanna. I've started my own happy hour show. I've already had 2 amazing guests, Sabrina Ramirez and Jeannine, the Machine, talking hottest movies ever made, favorite fictional crushes, all kinds of weird stuff. We're going to have Kevin Smets on next Wednesday. We might talk some Schmodown, so be sure to tune in for that.
Nice.
And I will see you when I see you.
Right?
All right.
Yes.
That's my turn, right? We're going around the horn.
Round.
Guys, you might know me on Twitter as at Mike Kalinowski, but I'm formerly known as at Mike Kalinowski because that Twitter's frozen. I told the president to go jump off a very tall bridge, and I got suspended for 12 hours one day 2 months ago. The next morning it was said, hey, you have to delete this tweet, and now you're back. And I was like, great. And they're like, would you like to appeal? And I was driving, so I kind of flipped through the screen. So I think it sent an appeal. It says, okay, we're going to look at your appeal. Your account cannot be active or touched or used until we do your appeal. And then the world shut down. So I have not been able to reach anyone. So I started a new Twitter. It's at Mike Kalinowski _. My old account is still there. You can post to it all you want. It doesn't say blocked, canceled. I'm hoping to get it back, but I started a new one. It's my same name, just with a little underscore. And also DC Movie News. That's where you guys might know me from. 1 p.m. Friday, we're doing a new thing where Roxy, myself, Adam, and Johnny, we're watching every single DC film from the beginning and then kind of talking about them on the episode and kind of breaking it down. So next week we're doing Swamp Thing, which Robert, as you know, and Brandon and Jeannine, if you have to watch that, I feel sorry for you.
It's a doozy.
Oh, fuck. My God.
I did know that the director is Wes Craven, though. And when Adam, was it Adam? Someone was Jared Habon, was he complaining about? Someone was complaining about that, and I was like, "Oh, I knew it."
Probably Jared. But yeah, so yeah, check us out there. That's what we're doing. That's it.
I love it, Robert.
You can find me currently sending tweets from @Mike Kalinowski without the underscore. I've hijacked the chat. No, you can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at RBRTPRK98. Really complicated handle. Just search Robert Park. You'll find it. It's a picture of me doing stand-up.
All right. There we go.
That's all I got.
Jeannine.
You can find me at Jeannine DeBean on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out my podcast feed with Morgan Robinson. It's a wonderful podcast. We have 3 shows over there. We have Machine Mondays every Monday with me talking about the Schmodown. We have Morgan Hasn't Seen every Wednesday, where I force Morgan to watch a related series of films or a franchise of films that he's missed, and we discuss. And every Friday we have It's a Wonderful Podcast, where we give love to those classic movies. So yeah, check it out.
Love it. Frank.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at FrankieJ29. And as always, the Schmodown Rundown every Saturday on the podcast feed or Sunday on the SEN YouTube channel. Check out tomorrow's episode. It's great.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that episode. I've heard great things about it.
So a lot of great reviews already. A lot of early reviews coming in.
Early reviews. We did get another super chat in from Movie Fanobi. Thank you for keeping the lights on here, Movie Fanobi. It says, Brienne, the best fuzzy chick mom ever. These streams have been fun and uplifting. Stay true. Love you, Jeannine and Brandon. Thanks, Mike, Frank, Robert. Thank you guys all for coming on this stream. This is the last episode of SD Best Friends. But we'll be forever in your hearts. I'll say that. And maybe I'll be doing something else on this channel at some point. But for now, so long, farewell, Avitas, and goodbye. Is that how that goes? I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You can find me on Instagram, Miss_movies. Don't look for me on Twitter because I'm not there anymore. And
why'd you rid your Twitter?
I just decided I didn't want negative things in my life anymore.
Well,
and
there
Twitter
you go.
Was very negative.
There you
and
go.
So I was like, you know
I
what?
wake
I'm
up,
just gonna go.
And about a half hour after I wake up, I become a crotchety old man.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I don't want to wake up.
My old friends and family back in Florida. Holy Christ. That's why I don't know if you guys saw it. Like, I started this whole big, like, I do every single day. I do an appreciation post for people in my life. And I started that because I was so negative going, like, I would wake up and just be pissed off because of Twitter and Instagram. My God. Yeah, it's a bless you for doing it.
You know, it's been at least a year, I think, that I've been off.
Has it really?
And so, yeah. So here's the key. What I did was I logged off and then I changed my password, but I made it something like one of those, like your phone says, like, choose this password, you know, and it's like some crazy stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm choosing that. And now I don't know what my password is. So like, I was just like, I cannot log in. And yeah, right. So that they made it so I literally do not know how to get in. Yeah. So there you go. That's my Twitter story. I am considering maybe starting up film therapy for a limited series on this channel, maybe in a few months, but that's just a thought right now. But if it is, I would love to have all of you on at some point. Mike, you've been on before, but I'd love to have you back. And that is about it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And as always, unlike Mean Girls, you can sit with us. Bye.
Bye.